Hello everybody, Tim Norris here, aka GreyElephant.
And Carmen Norris.
And welcome to a quick review by GreyElephant Gaming. What are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about Antarctica.
Right there!
Passport Games.
Yes, Passport Game Studios sent us. Now, this video is all about us giving our opinion about what we think of Antarctica.
Quick and to the point.
But, if you'd like to see how this game plays out in real time, what should they do?
You should watch our live play.
Right there. Yeah, and you're going to see us go head to head. We're going to sit down and we're going to see who is the best at doing whatever it is we do in Antarctica. Club and maybe Seals.
Something like that.
Yes. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the game. The first thing, now, all right, we got good and we got bad. All right. I want to start out a little bit of the good, and the good is that, man, what a neat looking game, because these components in this game really just bring out the flavor. You got awesome looking ships, you got cool looking scientists and buildings you can place on the board. Really neat, really.
Yeah. Well, when we first started the game, the board's empty, so I was kind of shocked. I was like, well, what's going on here? It's like an empty board. But then you start building things and it starts looking really cool, and there's a spot to put all of the buildings, so it doesn't get overwhelming, and it turns out
and I think what's neat is that even though you leave your scientists in the territories wherever you build, and the buildings have their specific spaces where they go, and the scientists can just go wherever, it never necessarily feels crowded. It always seems like you can kind of still tell what's going on in each area, no matter what.
It doesn't seem crowded or overwhelming. I don't know if that would change
with more players. Yeah, we should probably preface this review by saying we've only ever played this with 2 players. It does play up to 4. All of our games have just been 2-player.
Right, so this review is based on 2-player games.
Yeah, so at no point have we felt like that each territory felt overwhelmed, like you couldn't tell what was going on. That every time it makes sense, because everything has a spot. And I think that really helps. And it just seems to me like, aesthetics really make a difference in a game, and this game here proves that. Now, the other thing I think is neat is that I love the way that the actions take place based upon the sun moving around the board. And depending on if your ship is first in line, the sun hits that spot, you are the person who takes the action. That is an awesome, neat, and clever mechanism.
Right. It's something to keep in mind while you're playing, because you can end up, you can set it up to where you get several turns in a row, and the other player's not getting any turns.
And they're sitting there just twiddling their thumb.
Yeah.
Checking Facebook on their phone.
And that's what I experienced in the last game. My ships were all basically in one spot, so Tim was getting turn after turn, and I was kind of sweating bullets, thinking, he's really going to catch up now.
Yeah, and now there's certain areas on the board where you can try to activate to be able to get more ships of your color onto the board. You could get more scientists of your color so that you can try to place them in the territories to be able to build. And you really want to try to take advantage of these camps or these shipyards, because really having more of your stuff on the board is going to give you a greater advantage to be able to not only take more actions, but obviously score more points at the end of the game.
Right. Whenever you move your ship onto a camp where you can get more scientists, the number of scientists that you move into your supply depends on how many pieces of your color are there, ships and people. So the more you have on the board there, the more you get to move with just one action.
So it really encourages you to build. Now, we have run into some issues and difficulties in the 2-player game, and most of that really does stem around the end game and with the scoring.
End game scoring, definitely.
Yeah, it seems like in a 2-player game, whoever ends up winning, because each territory, whoever has the majority of the scientists there, is going to score 1 point per scientist of everybody's color, and also 1 point for each building, and plus 1 bonus point. So there's a total of 10 people in buildings altogether, you're going to score a total of 11 points.
Right.
And then the second player...
The second player is going to get points just based on scientists of the first player.
Right.
So they're not going to get nearly as many points.
If there's, say, 11 points for the first player, but they only had 3 of their scientists, and then the second player would score 3 points. And that's where really the meat of the points are going to be scored. Then you're going to score points on the track, because there's like a development track, and there's 3 different ones in a 2-player game.
Research tracks.
And then that's where it gets kind of stupid with the scoring, because in a 2-player game it totally breaks down.
Right. In a 2-player game, the first player gets points based on where they are on the track and where every other player is on the track. And then this person that comes in second place...
So let me cut you real quick. So like in a 2-player game, I could be all the way up at the furthest point of the track. Carmen may be very last. So I would score, say, 5 points plus hers, which would be 1 point. So I scored 6 points.
Right.
But...
And then if I'm in second place, I get points based on where the first player is.
Yeah, so even though she never even moved, she'll get 5 points. That doesn't make a lick of sense. And I hate that. I really hate that.
So Tim being in first on the research track with 5 more points on the track than me only gets 1 more point.
1 more point.
In in-game scoring.
And when you add more players, you're going to get the total of everybody's marker on there. So if there's 4 markers on there, I mean, you could walk away with, say, like 12 or 15 points.
As the first player.
And then it makes more sense.
And then the second player would still only get where the first player's on the track, not everyone. So it would be more of a point swing in that.
And then the other way that you could get points is by building buildings that have an asterisk on the card. And then whoever has the most of those is going to score victory points based upon everybody around the table that have those cards. So you build the building, you keep that card in front of you. Say like I end the game with 5 of them, and Carmen ends the game with 2 of them. Then I would score 5 for mine, plus her 2, so I'd get 7 points. But then once again, Carmen would score 5 points. Because
I would score based on what he built, based on what the first player
So it's only a
built.
2-point difference, and that's ridiculous again. So really in a 2-player game, it all comes down, really, to whoever scores majority in the territories. And everything else to me is just throw it out the window.
Everything
it's not even
else
worth it.
Isn't even worth it. So it makes a lot of actions not worth it in a 2-player game.
Yeah,
whereas,
you never want to go up on the research track.
No,
you don't
going
really
up on the
about
research track is an action that you don't even
You don't
think
care
about.
about building buildings with asterisks. You don't care about that. You don't care about sending your ships to the junkyard and your cubes to the junkyard because you're not getting many points for that
That's
stuff.
another area in which, in a multiplayer game,
Possibly.
the first player gets points based on everything in the junkyard. And then the second player would get points based on
the first
player's ships in the junkyard.
Yeah.
So I think that, you could get points that way in a multiplayer game, but in a 2-player game, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, so I think that really this game, it's a good 2-player game. It's a much, much better 3 to 4-player game. So I don't recommend this for 2 players. So if you're going to buy it as a couple, no, totally don't, okay? If you're going to buy it for 4 players, I really think you're going to enjoy it. I really do. Because there's a lot of neat things going on in this game, and there's a lot of cool mechanisms and a lot of cool strategy that you can take advantage of if you're going to have fun. One of the small drawbacks I will say that still occurs is the fact that there typically is only going to be 1 camp for a large portion of the game. There's only going to shipyards will start coming out, so it's going to be difficult to get your, extra ships on the board. But the fact that the only way that you can get extra scientists is really by either destroying ships or by getting to that camp can make it very difficult for players to try to be able to take actions to even build and really limit you.
You can use that shipyard card to get scientists.
Yeah.
But that's probably not going to happen as often as you need it to. I would just say the in-game scoring is surprising. Whether you're playing a 2-player or a multiplayer game, you're probably not going to be used to it the first game.
So ultimately, what do you think of the game? Do you like it?
I don't really think I care to play it again, not as a 2-player, to be honest. I mean, it was enjoyable. I'm not going to say I wasted my time playing it or anything like that, but I just think there's better 2-player games out there.
Right. But if you was to say on a game night, break this out with a 4-player, would you like it then?
Yeah.
What do you think?
That'd be
I
fun.
guess base your opinion off of it as a 2-player and also 4-player. Do you like it based you understand what I'm saying?
All right. I think that it would be fun to play as a 4-player game. I would look forward to that.
Yeah, and I think I could agree. Now, and here's the thing about it is that I've got games in my collection like Lords of Zidit. Lords of Zidit is not a very good 2-player game. In fact, it doesn't even play 2-player at all. I keep that game in my collection because I love Lords of Zidit. Now, this is probably going to be another one of those games that's going to stay in my collection, not for Carmen and I to sit down and play, but it's going to be one of those games where if I do have my game, group over, I might say, hey, let's sit down, I'll teach you guys how to play Antarctica, so I can experience that 4-player experience. And I think it's going to be a much, much different game with 4 players. Yeah. And that's what I do recommend, 3 to 4 players. 2-player, don't even give it a shot. It's not even worth it for that. So that's my opinion. A neat game. I definitely do like this designer. He did Abyss as well, and that's still another one of my favorites. And I think he's got a great mind for designing, and I really like this one. I just do not think that it should have ever been marked for 2 players. It should have been 3 to 4. Other than that, I really think it's a fun game, and I do recommend it. But I never want you guys to take our opinion of things. What should they do instead?
You should watch our live play.
Yes! Watch that, and that's going to give you guys a great idea on the mechanics of this game. Now, mind you, we did only play with 2-player, and I just did say I don't like the 2-player, but that's not the point of the live play. The point of the live play is so you guys see how this game plays out in fake and artificial time.
In real time.
Real time, real decisions here, people. All right, and as usual, we appreciate you guys watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.